This video is going to be for all e-commerce brand owners that are just simply tired of working with a bunch of agencies that don't really speak to one another. They don't have their very narrow focused areas, or on the opposite side, they're way too large in terms of client size and in terms of service offerings. So they don't really give you the attention and time of the day that your brand deserves. I want to run down with you a little bit about what we do at Wizo Media and what is the true cost that's an average e-commerce brand, both in time and money, that is to not work with us as partners. If you don't know me, my name is Justin and I'm the founder of Wizo Media, an e-commerce marketing agency specializing in elevating thriving brands by simplifying e-commerce growth. So truthfully, if you want to work with a good Facebook ad agency, because yes, Facebook ads are still not dead in 2022, they still are working and thriving. In fact, a lot of the content you find on TikTok is now being repurposed for Facebook and works amazingly well. But basically, what would it cost you to work with a good Facebook ad agency? Well, accounting for service fees, ad spend shares, depending on whatever pricing model you have with your agency, it's roughly 3 to 5K per month. And again, I'm gonna probably hear or see some people in the comments saying that, well, you can get an agency for less. Look, I'm talking about a good agency. I'm not talking about a freelancer you found on Fiverr. I'm not talking about, your sort of corner agency that will work with only a percentage based, that rarely exists. So your average agency is gonna cost you about 3 to 5K per month. Look at Google. Even though on Google, again, you don't have the whole creative work involved like you would have on Facebook, agencies still will charge you about 3 to 4K per month to work with them. So at this point, you spend at least about 6K per month just to get on 2 ad channels. And that doesn't account for the ad spend you have to put in. And then there's Pinterest, which may not be a good fit for your brand, but if it is, if you're a fashion brand, if you're a jewelry brand, you most likely are on Pinterest, it's about 2K per month. And now TikTok, which I highly recommend any brands to hop on in 2022, is basically, agencies start charging at about 3K per month for that service. So all in all, at that point, you're sitting at about a little over $10,000 in agency fees, and you have 4 agencies to deal with. And those are 4 different entities. And again, I might be exaggerating a little here because you may have one agency that does, a few of these things. So it may be more like 2 agencies, who knows? But chances are it's not really one agency taking care of all of that. Or if it is, then they might not be taking care of your retention. They're probably not taking care of your CRO. They're probably not taking care of your influencers, or none of that. And if you look essentially here, you have 4 entities to manage. You basically have 4 retainers to pay, or 4 profit percentages, for ad spend shares. All depends on what type of service you are offering. And you have to give all of that away at the end of the month. And the question is, are you really saving time? Because you have a lot of entities to manage now. And if you're doing all of that yourself, what's up. You'd know what channels integrate with which one, why you're doing certain strategies. The thing is, with having many agencies handling different services like that, what it causes is there's a huge split within your business. You've got sub-entities now that are sort of engraved within your business that don't really care about one another. Like truthfully, why would your Facebook ad agency care about your Google agency as an example? They're competing against one another. It's not about who makes the most sales for your brand. It's about who makes the most sales in their own ad channel. That's all there is. They don't really care about collaborating with each other, potentially, having a cross-channel strategy where they're doing maybe cold on Facebook, retargeting on Google, or cold on TikTok and retargeting on Facebook, whatever that is. Everybody's out for each other, and that is happening within your business right now. And I see that way too often with brands saying like, yeah, we're currently testing out 3 agencies at the moment, all within Facebook ads. They all have access to our ad account. We just want to find who's best, and not accounting for attribution issues, not accounting for the extra fees that it causes you, not accounting for especially the fact that you've got people again competing with one another. That's just to me, honestly, that's just outrageous. Basically, imagine having 3 CMOs within a business. Everybody has the same objective. It's getting you the most sales. But imagine having these 3 CMOs on different offices. None of them speak to each other, And all they have in mind is they want to make you money. But they may compete against one another without even knowing. They may try and sort of poach, traffic channels from one another. They may try to hire different people. You know what I mean? It'd be a little ridiculous. I think it's the same thing, honestly, when you look at it that way. When you pay all of these retainers, all of these fees, you have all of these entities within your business that they don't really work for you. They work for themselves, essentially. Whereas, if you look at that right there, none of them really care about your brand. That is the true issue right there. They don't really care about longevity. They care about short-term ROAS, short-term profit with your brand. And at our agency, at Wizo Media, the way we work is more on an e-commerce growth partner role than an agency, because we don't just work on ads and we're not tied on a singular ad channel either. So when you look at our peak process, which is basically our solution, it's the way we help our brands scale and grow. From the past content pieces you may see on this channel, that is how we helped one of our brands go all the way up to $1 million ARR by being responsible for 43% of their overall business revenue. That's how we helped another brand generate over $170,000 in 1 week. All of our case studies essentially are being attributed back to the peak process, which is continuously evolving over time and adapting with the current, market needs, the market trends. As an example, TikTok that we added last year, last summer. So looking at that right there, there's a couple pillars in our work. So the first one is paid advertising. So when you look at ads, obviously we also do ads. It's a great way to do client acquisition. I think it's an amazing way to get new clients through the door. And we do so not with a singular ad channel. We're omni-channel, which means we handle more than one ad channel to, first of all, not put all of our eggs within the same basket. We know that at times, as an example, Facebook will be performing great. At other times, Google will be performing great. And it might be TikTok, the next week. So having those simultaneously running is key. And the second thing about the reason behind us being on more than one ad channel is the fact that you create omnipresence and a strategy that works on an omni-channel way. So what does that mean is if instead of being multi-channel, which that might be working with different agencies, you're doing client acquisition, retention, you have warm, cold audiences and very hot audiences on Facebook, but you have the same exact thing on TikTok and you have the same exact thing also going on Google. So it's like all channels are doing the same exact thing, just through a different medium. Well, we might have an example, part of the funnel that is on a singular platform and another part of the funnel that is on another platform. And that helps you create coherence across your different platforms and follow your audience. So instead of spamming them everywhere, you're creating a message that when they hop from one platform to another, they'll see a congruent message about your brand instead of seeing the same thing over and over, just broadcasted on all platforms. And the second thing is it's not just ads management, which I think is one of the biggest things that I've been seeing with a lot of agencies. They just manage the ads. You still have, as a brand owner, to provide all of the creative assets. You have to work, you have to hire another agency, you have to send out all of the creatives. That is also something we take care of. So we have a team of graphic designers and video editors essentially they take your raw assets, so your product shots, any shots that you might have, video or photo that you might have, and we turn them into ad content. And not only that, but you get access to that content, which you can also use for organic content. So this way, you fuel part of your organic content through us, but all of your paid content is also entirely done on our end. So that leaves you with literally nothing to take care of on the paid advertising side of things. You act more as a layer of approval. You're like thumbs up, thumbs down, here's why, you give feedback, and that's it. But this is truly where you save not only time, but also a lot of money, because instead of being different entities that charge you for all of these extra services, we charge you more as a package. So for everything together, it doesn't cost you more to be on all these ad platforms. It'll be the same thing essentially for you. And then the last two pillars right here, which are basically the coaching aspect. So we also help all of our brands with other aspects than just ads. So you're not stuck with a narrow-minded partner that only looks at a single place within your business, which would be ads, and try and troubleshoot from there. There's only so much you can do advertising-wise, right? We can optimize, we can try and scale, we can try and get a better click-through rate, lower CPMs. It's all possible, lower cost per clicks. That is all a part of our job because we take care of the creatives and the paid advertising management. But what happens once people are on the website? If the website doesn't convert, or if the audience, is confused once they get on the website, what happens? So that is still left to you. So we can also help you with CRO, essentially with CRO guidance and coaching, and what can you do to improve your website, and how can you improve your website to make sure that your visitors convert best. So give you some advice and feedback based on that. Also give you some knowledge about what are the percentages you should be looking for, where you're at right now, where you want to get to. And other things, as an example, like branding, like influencer partnerships, like what type of influencers you should partner with, how to do it, scripts to send out to these influencers. All that essentially is also included on our end. And finally is retention. So not only are we filling up your business, filling up your funnel by doing client acquisition, so we're bringing new people in, we're bringing new customers, but then that still leaves you with stuff to do, right? It leaves you with all of the thinking about, how do I retain these customers? How do I make sure they come back? How do I make sure that they buy again? How do I make sure that I increase their customer lifetime value? Because if they only come in once, assuming you have an average order value of $50, then a customer will only be worth $50. But a store that takes care of their customers and makes them come back, a single customer could be worth, $300, $500. They could buy 6, 7, 8 times, and all of that within a single year. So that's not even customer lifetime value. That's a single year's of value for a single customer. So we also help you with retention. So email and SMS. We're basically Klaviyo Silver partners, which we use primarily for email. SMS is also in Klaviyo for a lot of the brands. Some of the brands will be on PostScript, Attentive, SMS Bump. There's a lot of variety of apps that are there for SMS, but nonetheless, we can also help you with that. So that way we fill your funnel. We basically bring you a lot of new clients, which is where growth really comes from. That is, for short-term and long-term growth, is through getting a consistent flow of new customers. Then we also nurture your customers. So we nurture your current and past customers, as well as your new customers that we'll bring in. So that way you come in, we bring in more clients, we nurture them. So we also increase their value and increase the value of your past customers. So ultimately you already make more. Like if we didn't even turn on ads, you'd make more just with email and SMS. You're also making more because you have more, you have more people coming in through paid ads, and we help you again with part of your organic content, so you have less time to spend on that. Part of the coaching, when it comes to CRO, so that way you improve your conversion rate, which everything you're going to do organically is going to be less hard and a lot easier on you, because the more, the traffic will just convert better because you have a better website. And all of that starts at $2,000 per month, on our end. Basically, it depends based on which components of these you want. So start at about $2,000 per month for paid advertising management. And then it'll depend, again, if you want retention, you want all of that. So basically you get a single entity. You basically have like a full marketing department that sort of sticks to your brand and helps you grow. And what the advantage is of working with us is that we only work with a small pool of clients. In-house, basically we have a pod of employees that are responsible for a small pool of clients. And basically, each account managers will only ever work with about 5 to 6 brands. So meaning they'll be able to oversee the full strategy for about 5 to 6 brands tops at any given point. So we work at any given point with about 10 to 12 brands, but that just means that we won't have 100 of other brands to take care of. We'll be very committed to your brand, and we'll be committed to your overall holistic growth, and not just your Facebook growth or not just your TikTok growth. It'll be growing your brand and your business. So that leaves you with, better brand image, because everything is coherent, right? Everything, kind of flows each other on all ad platforms. Like everything looks like it belongs to the same brand. You don't have different strategies or different creatives here or there. Like it's all congruent. Then second thing, you get an increase in revenue. I said it earlier, you get a lot of new clients, but you also retain these clients better and increase their lifetime value. So revenue goes up on both ends, on the front end and on the back end. Then you get a higher return on investment, because again, it costs you a little less than working with all of these different agencies. And you get a higher return on investment in terms of your time. You invest time into these partnerships. Well, you invest a little less time, but you'll get a much bigger monetary ROI, meaning that, it's a disproportionate ROI you'll get by working, with a partner like us. And finally, it's just happier customers, because the customer experience is thought through on all these platforms that we'll be on. So that leaves your customers with, from point A to point B, essentially, their journey is completely mapped out. And that leaves you in a position where, again, you have happy customers that are worth more, that are coming in every single day. So there's not much else for you to do besides working on organic marketing on your end. And even there, we take care of part of it with the ad content that we'll be providing you that you can use for organic marketing. Look, if you're an e-commerce brand or store owner making at least $20,000 to $30,000 a month with your brand, I invite you to click on the first link in the description down below and book in a very short call with our team. On that call, we'll take a look at your brand and see if you're a good fit for our e-commerce marketing program. And if that's the case, we'll help you scale up through all these different ways that I mentioned in today's video. And worst comes to worst, we'll just leave you with a free action plan to implement on your own. So on that note, make sure you check out also other videos and case studies on this channel, and I'll wish you a great week and see you soon. Ciao.